Sonic the Hedgehog is a long-standing series and is basically the mascot of Sega. With multiple appearances in games, shows, and more recently 2 movies, the brand has become recognizable. Despite having some ups and downs with releases of products, the fan base is constantly getting new content. With the recent release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and the announcement of a new video game called Sonic Frontiers, I consider myself an average enjoyer of the series. I've played a few games here and there and watched some other related content. At this point, I think it's safe to say that Sonic has one of the most successful video game movie adaptations. To be fair, they didn't have much competition as a lot of video game movies are trash. You got Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, Hitman, and so many others. I watched Sonic the Hedgehog back in 2020 and it doesn't compare to the sequel. With a runtime of an hour and 40 minutes, how much has it improved compared to the first movie? Let's find out in my burst review of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The story picks up a few months after the first movie, where Sonic defeated Eggman and left him stranded on a mushroom planet. During this time, Sonic tries to be a vigilante, but is causing more harm than good. The human characters he's staying with are going to visit a wedding, so he will remain home alone. Eventually, Eggman escapes the mushroom planet by teaming up with Knuckles, who believes Sonic is a thief. Tails eventually comes in to save the Blue Hedgehog from a beatdown and a new alliance is forged. The hunt for Sonic and the race to the Master Emerald begins. This movie is a loose adaptation of 2 video games, mainly Sonic 3 and a few parts from Sonic 2. Think of how the MCU handles adaptations. They understand the material enough to include the most important parts, while also treating this as something different. The first movie focused on Sonic being the outcast with special powers and finding his identity. This movie focuses more on the ideals of friendship and responsibility. I always tend to enjoy sequels more because they spend less time on exposition and setups, which leads to better pacing. There are way more references, Easter eggs, and teasers in this movie. I really enjoyed the plot and how they kept incorporating more things from the Sonic universe. This movie feels more natural compared to the first, so characters don't feel out of place. For the casting, let's start off with some new additions. Tails can be written inconsistently at times. Some writers make him more of a hype man for Sonic who stands on the sidelines. Other versions take more of an active role by being an inventor who crafts gadgets and is good with machines. This version was a hybrid of those 2 ideas. He wasn't annoying to me and I found him to be quite likable. Knuckles was the star of the movie. Idris Elba did a great job of voicing Knuckles, especially when he wanted him to sound menacing. The Sonic vs. Knuckles fights did not disappoint. The hits had weight to them, and I like how the movie showcased speed versus power. The movie gave us enough of his backstory to not take away from the present. Some movies spend too much time on an origin story, so I was glad that Knuckles didn't linger for too long. Returning characters such as Eggman, Sonic, and others were well done. They had more to work with in this film, so I felt their interactions were smoother and funnier compared to the first movie. Now there is one major criticism that I have, that being some of the comedic moments. This movie has a lot of quips and pop culture references that don't always hit the mark. Sometimes it's just nothing for me, and other times it makes me cringe. I've counted at least 10, including flossing, Ghostbusters, and Uber. Sonic and Eggman make most of these jokes, so they both can be very funny, but also cringy at times. To be fair, a lot of these happen towards the beginning, which makes the early parts a bit annoying, but as the plot picks up, they become less common. The comedy is at its best when it focuses on natural interactions and dialogue. There were at least 3 jokes that had me laughing for quite a bit. I'm also glad that they toned down the involvement of the human characters compared to the first movie. This happens a lot in movies with otherworldly creatures like Godzilla. They spend too much time on humans and their reactions rather than focusing on the subject people really came for. Again, this was a bigger issue in the first movie and it got toned down in this one. While they do have a few scenes, I'm glad they were not the focus. As a sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 succeeds on multiple levels. It improves upon the foundation of the first movie, expands the universe by introducing new elements, while going deeper into character motivation and interactions. As a standalone film, I would give it a B. The quality was an improvement, and the things they introduced had me excited for future releases. The teaser at the end was the icing in the cake for me. It's good enough so you feel your money wasn't wasted, but this isn't like the greatest movie of all time. Aside from some lackluster comedic moments, I enjoyed the overall experience, and this movie is definitely worth a ticket price. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching. Peace.